Ahoy! Captain Fatty Goodlander here for Red Sea Run. That's our latest book. And we talk about a number of topics of wide interest to the offshore circumnavigator. And one of those, of course, is piracy and passive defense. Now, what do I mean about passive defense? Well, we need to defend ourselves, or at least contemplate ways of defending ourselves to pirates. And yet we have found, after many different experiences, that we prefer not to carry guns on board. I believe, and Carolyn believes, that a gun introduces more danger and perhaps potential violence into your life than it ever cures. Now, of course, we realize that people disagree with us, and that's fine. You can carry as many guns as you want. We think we're safer and have a higher quality of life with no guns aboard. But that doesn't mean that we don't have any defense. And one of the things I look for is passive defenses. Something that's not aggressive, that doesn't, when it's introduced, cause an escalation of violence. The guidelines here say that the last thing you should do is bring out a weapon, that immediately escalates the violence. Don't forget, these pirates aren't necessarily James Bond types. They're not going to necessarily hold their fire. They might start shooting immediately. They might have AK-47s, rocket launchers, and be prepared to die, and you don't particularly want to die. So one of the passive defenses is lines. You can tow behind your vessel polypropylene lines that are almost invisible to the approaching vessel, and 300 feet behind you, and should they come up astern and you zigzag a little bit in front of them, those polypropylene floating lines will be entangled in their propeller. Once they're in the propeller, they get wrapped up in the propeller and often slow down the vessel or prevent the vessel from operating. Now, they can be cleared and cut away, and probably 10 minutes after you do this, the pirates would be able to come back at you again. And many people carry two lines, so they once again have this passive defense. Another thing that we use aboard Wildcard is lasers. We have a laser that is impossible to look at and ruins your night vision. And should any vessel approach us at night that we think has evil intent, we can get out our lasers and focus that laser on the approaching vessel, not necessarily in their eyes, but on the approaching vessel, that would severely discourage anyone from keep on coming. At the same time, if they keep on coming, we can flash it into their eyes and immediately completely destroy their night vision. If they want to stare at it and we want to continue the focus, we could even damage their retinas. Of course, our intent is not to injure pirates. Our intent is to discourage pirates. And there's other passive ways of dealing with pirates. Flare guns is another one, and loud radios. It sounds funny, but they're terrified of the military. So if you have a power hailer wired into a VHF, and some people even wire in background noises of military noises, planes taking off, military chatter, and the pirates hear that, they get quite nervous and evidently try and get out of the area. While we transited the area, we used maritime military-sounding names. I was Eagle 3, and we had Hawk and those type of names, so that when they heard us on the radio, if the pirates were monitoring the radio, they would think we were a military group versus a bunch of innocent yachtsmen completely defenseless. These are some of the issues that we talked about in Red Sea Run. It's our latest book about our travels between Malaysia and the Mediterranean, including, of course, the Red Sea itself and the Suez Canal. We had a great time writing the book. We hope you have a great time reading it. I'm Captain Fatty Goodlander. Thanks for listening.